So great to be with you once again on the Coca-Cola Cool Down. We have just seen Game 4 of the Championship Series. Melbourne winning by 2, 88-86. Derek Rucker and Jack Heverin. Ruck, this was some sort of atmosphere. I know we say this every time we come to Tassie, but it was tense, it was fierce. It went all the way to the very end.
It was just a frantically exciting and dramatic game, and I'm not sure how much more drama and intrigue we can get in a series, but I think we're getting what the basketball public and the greater sporting community deserve, which is a Game 5 on Sunday. Melbourne United clearly is the better team in this series. They had to dig deep today, and they did that, and now we're going to that Game 5. But, you know, I'm sure these Jack Jumpers fans go home elated, but terribly disappointed also. Elated with the fact that this team gave it their all, put out a good performance, but they desperately wanted to hoist that cup today.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of fans in the venue tonight and around Tasmania, in fact, who were ready to P-A-R-T-Y a little later on, but it's not happening. We're going to be in Melbourne on Sunday for Game 5. Let's talk about the fourth quarter. When the game was up for grabs, it went a little dry for Tasmania at the offensive end, not so much for Melbourne. How did they find a way, Melbourne, to score enough points to win the game when perhaps they haven't been that fluent offensively?
Well, early in the fourth quarter, they got some good three balls from Ian Clark. I think Travers hit one and Golding hit a couple. And that just gave them a little bit of momentum to start off the quarter, put them in the lead. But then Tasmania knocked down a couple of shots, but I thought they weren't great shots.
Yeah.
But then as we got into crunch time, the final 3 minutes or so, Tasmania couldn't find a bucket. I thought Deng had a pivotal shot down on the baseline. I think I said on the broadcast, how did that not go in? It did everything on that rim except drop. And I felt those little misses and a key turnover here and there just gave this really talented Melbourne United team and an experienced team and a team that has players that have performed in a lot of parts of the world at elite levels, it gave them belief.
Matthew Dellavedova. Fourth quarter, game on the line, couple of Melbourne injuries that we'll get to in a moment. Multiple plays in a row, it was just head down, force your way in by any means necessary and score.
And that's what it's about right now. He's doing whatever it takes to give his team a chance to win the game. And we've seen in this series in particular, he will drive that ball deep into the key. He'll pivot, he'll spin. He's got a number of different finishes. But the last play, the go-ahead bucket, was very simple. He got on his right hand, elevated, and finished deftly off the glass to give United that final lead of the game.
You spoke about the three-point shooting. Chris Golding was a key architect in that. 5 made threes. The big concern, though, I think here for Melbourne is the state of his body right now. I haven't seen him play this season at all with the full-length compression garments or skins, whatever you like to call them. He looked like he was labouring a little bit early on. The longer the game went, though, Ruck, he looked like he was in serious trouble. How big of a concern is that for them going into Sunday?
Well, in his favour, they've got that extra day. Last week we went Friday, Sunday. This week we're going Thursday, Sunday. So he's got good 36 hours to absolutely offload and get the treatment that he needs. But whether it was a calf or a hamstring or a quad, whatever may be the case, I'm sure they're going to do everything they can to get that thing up to speed. They don't need Chris Golding at 100%. Let's be totally clear. 75% of him is better than 75% of the players in this competition. And they need his threat. If he can catch and shoot, he's good enough to be out on the floor. The one that's more concerning, however, is Luke Travers.
Yep. So foot issue with Luke Travers, pointed to the foot straight away, and then shortly after he came back out onto the court, his foot got caught underneath a Tasmanian player, and he grabbed at the same area again.
And he needs his mobility, his athleticism, his ability to get up off the floor, slide, defend. He needs his mobility more than Chris does. And offensively, he's more of a slasher getting on the rim. So there's immediate concern and equal concern for both of those guys. But the beauty of this United team is they have that depth. They can bring in a guy like Ian Clark, who can deliver 17, 18, 19 points in a big game like this.
From a Tasmanian standpoint, it was all about Jack McVey once again. That man is confidence with a capital C right now. There is not a shot in the world that he's scared of taking at the moment.
He played outstanding, and he's proving his case as one of the top 5 Australian players in the NBL. He was outstanding today. I'm sure he is going to be smarting that he couldn't knock down that last shot. I know he'll be living that throughout the few days coming into Game 5, but he need not worry about that. He's got to get that group together. He has clearly established himself as the best player on the jack jumpers, and not only that, but the spiritual leader. And we rarely see that from local talent. We saw it with Xavier Cooks. He's that type of guy. We see it with Mitch Creek at times. He's that type of guy. But now McVey is now in that territory. He's got to rally the jack jumpers in prep for Game 5.
Did they let one slip tonight?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. But they probably should have been swept. It probably should have been 3-0, legitimately, Melbourne United. So I think we're right where we're supposed to be. Going into a Game 5, both teams have won a couple of games. Melbourne United probably feel like they stole that one, but this is why we play series to determine basketball championships.
I've asked you this question at the end of every game, and I'm going to ask you again tonight because that's the last time I get to ask you. Who's momentum with right now?
It's back with Melbourne United. They've gone from being under, as I said, immense pressure coming into this game to now being back in the driver's seat. That Melbourne crowd at John Cain Arena is going to be berserk on Sunday. And I said Tasmania had a really good chance of winning 1 out of 3 games at John Cain Arena. They may have used up their get-out-of-jail-free card.
I can't wait for Sunday. I'm no chance of sleeping between now and Sunday.
I know, it's so exciting. And, you know, for everyone who's followed us throughout the season, I'm sure you feel the same way with us, excited and just happy to see the season extended and we get a Game 5. There's nothing like a Game 5.
We are getting the finish that not only that we deserve, but fans around the world deserve, and that is Game 5, Sunday, 4 p.m. at John Cain Arena. You going to be there?
I will be there.
Wild horses couldn't drag me away on Sunday. Thanks for being with us on the Coca-Cola Cool Down. We'll do it one more time on Sunday.